Everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Handmade by Ying with Donna. Today is the day of assembly for my E row, and I'm down to where I'm doing E6A, to where I'm joining those pieces together. So this is block 6 of row E, and as you can see by the assembly guide, there's a little bit of work. So I went ahead and worked ahead and got this section here pretty well done. So all I'm going to have to do is streamline for you to keep the video a little shorter, but you're going to follow your assembly guide. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of pieces that needed to be assembled. When you're doing the legit kits, it's important to follow your assembly guide. Don't go just astray and thinking you can figure it out. Even though 9 times out of 10 you're going to be able to, it's easier just to do it the way that they're telling you. Make sure that all along here, as you're pinning and things, as well as your junctions, that you are pinning there. If you do all of this and you lay your block out ahead of time and you're doing your pinning, your block's going to come out perfect every time. So let me move that out of the way. And I've got everything lined up now. I've went ahead and joined these 3 pieces and joined these 3 pieces just for time efficiency with you. So now I'm going to join these 2, then I'll join these 2, and then I'll join it all together. Make sure that you're looking here as you're pinning here and down at the ends. So let's get working. So when you pick your block up, it's really, really important that you line them up. And we've went through this with every one of the videos that I've done, is you stick your pin in your corner, make sure you're catching your fabric, and then you stick it into your other corner here. And they make it really easy. If you follow all their directions, your quilts are going to come out just stinking adorable. And I'm telling you right now, from the looks of all my blocks, I can't wait to get it assembled. It's going to be fun to watch this little puppy come together. And I'm going to check this end just to see where I'm at. I'm going to pin right here. Let me get it in just a little tighter there. And then you're going to have a little bit of bulk from the looks of it right here. So I'll pop this out. Now I'm going to find where I wanted everything to line up, and that's right here. So I'm going to finger press everything in. And I'm going to clip it. And then I'm going to clip it here. And then just bring it over to the machine. Pop the first pin. And sew this one in. Stay true to your 1/4 inch, as I've said every step of the way so far. Make sure that you have your bottom and your top all lined up. That way you're catching it on both sides. You're going to have a couple tight pieces to where it's a little piece, but you want to make sure you catch that fabric. I got a little bit of bulk here, and that's just where a lot of fabric comes together. Pop this pin and just lay it down. And slow and steady. Before you rip your paper, you're going to want to press it open and make sure that everything lined up, and it did. So I'm lined up really nice all along. I'm going to finger press here, and you got that little piece right here. Just go ahead and use your fingernail and pop that out. Rip your paper. And I don't know why, but that's a little satisfying as you're ripping it out. You can use tweezers on those wee little tiny fine pieces. But my nail seems to be able to get in there and get those out. And if you press it down first, it'll all rip out really nice for you. Go ahead and finger press it. bring it over to the iron, and you're going to flat iron it down. But I like to finger press it first, and right here is where my bulk is. So I want to make sure I kind of finger press that in. I can use my roller, but I'm going to leave the heat on it just for a second as I'm pressing the other seam. I also like to use my clapper when I have these kind of seams. This one here needs to fold over. You just have to watch the direction of what you're doing and lay it down. You don't want to go burning everything up. Just make sure you give it just enough heat. And if you missed it, that's the acorn pen. Flip it over and give it a press on this side as well. This little corner here, that's going to be lost in a seam allowance, so I'm not rightly worried, or over here. That's going to go here. Now we're going to join these two sections together here. And you're going to look in the center to make sure nothing has to line up, and it does. It has to line up here and here. So once you get your corners in, you're going to want to make sure that you're double checking those two areas. And that'll make it all come out just nice. I like to use sturdy pins. It helps. There's a little bit of flex, but they're really sharp and it'll go through just about anything. Now I want to look where I needed them to line up. All the way down and right there. I want to clip there and then wiggle in here and clip here. Press it down to make sure everything lines up. Come over under your machine, pop your pin, lay your needle down, and stay on that line. My bottom and my top match, so I'm not worried there at all. You can hear the little bit of bulk there. Have it again right here. Let your machine do your work for you. Always check your seams before you rip your paper. That way if you have to use it again. And right here, as you can tell, that lined up perfect there and over here. So now I can pop this out. Come up here and do the same. And as you're ripping, you can make sure that you've got all your seams lined up along the way on the back end as well. It'll keep it coming in really nice and handy, because you're going to have a lot of paper tearing here in a little bit once you do your assemblies. And since I know I have a little extra bulk here, I'm going to use my roller, not ruler, and just give that a little bit of extra manipulation. And I'm going to have it here as well. Everybody has their own techniques. This seems to work good for me. And one more place right here, and then we'll flat iron it down, and this one will be in. And that couple extra seconds, it's going to save you a little bit of heartache in the end. flip it over and double check, and everything is lining up stinking amazing. And as you can tell, look right here, that is a perfect lineup. I couldn't be more pleased. So now we're down to the final, to where you're just gonna pick it up, do your corners, stick your pin in it. Same here. Just get it lined up to where it's flat, and then come down on this side and do the same thing. You're going to see a lot of bulk here on this little piece, but it's okay. You know how to work with them now. Right there. And there. And now I've got my pin lined up. Make sure everything here is lined up. And I will do the same, pin and clip. Right here I have to where it needs to meet, and I want to make sure everything is in. Just nice and tidy. Move this out of the way. Slide it up and under. It's hard to believe this is the last block for this row. And then we can move along to the others. Fold it open and make sure everything lines up. And I'm telling you, I'm really pleased with the way everything lines up. If you put all the work into it, with making sure all your color placements are right, then the next thing you want to do is make sure your blocks line up. If you pin at your corners, you're not going to have to square down your blocks or do anything fancy. You might have to rip a seam out here and there just because it doesn't look the way that you want it to. But pin everywhere you're supposed to, and you're going to see your block come together so nice. You're going to be so proud of this quilt when it's done. And this one, I was so stoked to be asked to test it and work it. And it has definitely been fun every step of the way. And it looks funny with all the little pieces joined in, as you can see. Double check and make sure everything's lining up. Find some junctions and just make sure. So I can honestly say the last block's done here. Get all your little threads off. Make sure you've got everything caught. Got that one little thread there. And now we've got another block done. Let me give you a look-see at all of the E's. And you'll see this one was a little bit challenging getting everything in. I want to make sure I'm putting them in the right order to show you. Okay, this was one of the blocks. Okay, this was my A. Look at all that, how nice it all come out. B. Must have these out of order. I do. So I'll get those back in order in just a second. Look at all that. Is that not crazy looking? But I bet you can guess what that's going to be. That's going to be the headlight. So let me just slide these over. Okay. And this fabric is amazing, but my workspace, I have a good bit of lint here. So I like to keep it all cleaned up as best I can. Just to give you the little view of how nice everything lines up. All your points, if you're pinning at all the junctions, everything comes together really, really stinking amazing. So that's it for this. Thank you guys for joining me as I'm working this quilt. The muscle is amazing. If you haven't ordered yet, please do. You're not going to be disappointed by any means. Mike and his team has done a fabulous job. Pre-orders are now done. You can order it straight on the website. Look in the description box below and you're going to find my affiliate information. Click on that. And it doesn't work just for the muscle, but it works for all of their site. So if you see something you want, I greatly appreciate your love and support along the way. You'll see us do a wrap-up video where I'll show you stacks of all the blocks along the way. I'm not going to flip down through them. And I'll give you the heads up at the end. Take care, God bless, and I'll see you back in the end.